Okay, today is okay. Today is let's see. Today is Wednesday. It is 8:31 p.m. It is June 3rd. It is the Asian market. Okay. So yesterday I was visibly tired, and my account was entering into the trading day was at about 3.5% on my 10K challenge. Okay. The goal is to pass this 10K and then get a payout, which clearly is a demonstration of my consistency and my edge. Okay, that is what I'm doing. Okay, so essentially, what's proving out to be true. So then, what I did was I lost about 3.3%. Okay, so that and the second loss was painful. The first loss I wrote it down and wrote it down and lost a bunch. Uh, uh, about 2.5%, about 2.5% loss, okay, on EU. Okay, I was just like, I was in, and I just didn't sell, and I was hoping that it would recover, and then I finally closed it out, okay? Then I was fuming, and so I sold, I traded again, and then this time around, I was on tilt, and I knew it. And so I sized big on gold. And of course, when I'm on tilt and I've lost, my vision is completely off of what I'm doing. My psychology's off, and I was tired, but I was able to recognize it. I closed it out as soon as possible, but that also cost me a 0.7% loss. So in total, it was a 3.3% loss. And then my trading result for the 10K was up 5% from a 3.5%. So essentially, I lost about 3.3% yesterday, about 3% yesterday. And then because I didn't sell overnight, it registered that way. So I stopped myself. I said to myself, look, I almost blurted out the words. Like, I was like calling my, like, I was doing like effing this, effing that. I'm like so upset. And I'm like, I almost used the same words that I used last time, which was, "Listen, you haven't improved. You're back to like the first day of trading. What the heck are you doing?" Okay, but I had this mind and the presence to say that, okay, I'm stopping right here. Okay, I could have done more damage, but I just stopped right there. This time it wasn't a 4.5%; it was a 3% loss. That's an improvement. Okay, that's a positive. And so, so I ended the day and I took a break. Okay, so which I should have done that earlier, but I should have gotten out earlier, and so the first loss would have been smaller. Then I could have caught my breath. Okay, I could have reestablished my base. Okay, so then today rolled around and I started to recognize what I was doing, and I immediately made about 1.7%. Okay, so that brings me up to about 2.2%, and all I need now. Yeah, all I need. It's very difficult. What I need now is 5.8% to pass this challenge, the first phase. When I pass that, I know what I'm going to do is do the same thing on the phase two, and I'll pass. And then I'll do the same thing on the funded account, which I will get a payout, and I'll get a payout. So as soon as I get a payout there, then I will be able to buy a 50K challenge, and then I will repeat whatever I've done, and then make the success rate will be parabolically higher. Okay, from what I was doing with the 10K, because 10K, it has been over almost a year now. Okay, I passed the 5K, so I switched to the 10K, but it took practically almost a year to hone my skill set to define my edge. Okay, and what I've noticed is that what I would do is a single loss would just trigger a tilt, and then I would just keep losing. And so the fix was for me to, when I lose, because the loss is inevitable, either because I don't get out, or I'm out of a trade, or I'm in a trade that is like going the other direction, and not using my setup, right? And so that's why that was the fix that I required, because I was on this hamster wheel. Every time I buy, I lose. Every time I buy, I lose for the same reason, which is I was in a trade that I should not be in. And then the second part is I'm in a trade that I should not be in, but I allowed it to go further than I should. I needed to. Okay. Then third part is I would get upset and I would be on tilt and I would trade it again and I would lose it. Okay. That was a repeated cycle throughout the past almost a year. Okay. So so yesterday I was able to stop. Okay. It finally I don't know if it finally dawned on me or not, but I stopped. Okay, less than 4.5% because the 4.5 seems to have been a threshold for me. But now I'm saying to myself, okay, so why am I digging myself into a bigger hole when I can? Because obviously I was tired. Okay, I was hungry. Okay, and and that essentially told me that I didn't have the mindset to properly trade. Okay, so I was lucky. I was able to stop before it got worse. Okay, so then today I got into a couple of trades and it just proved that I know what I'm doing. Okay, so here's what I do. Okay, here's what I do as a trader now. So I essentially use a couple of moving averages. I use a 200 a day moving average and a 50-day moving average. Okay. Now I'm seeing this. I had the averages there, but I never really correlated to what I was doing. And so when I look at that, it shows me the trend essentially. Okay. It shows me what the previous trend is. It's not a sure thing that the trend will continue, but it is showing me what the trend is. Okay, that's the first part. Okay, and so yesterday what I was doing is, okay, I was in a trade, but the trend has reversed, and it was like it was like doing this, and I was still in, and and I just added more, which just aggravated it. Okay, and so then I lost big and I got out. Okay, so that was the problem. So the second part of the equation is, okay. So the second part of the equation is this. Essentially when I'm taking a trade, what I need to be aware is, um, so what I'm looking for. So what I'm looking for is when the price goes down here, like that. I don't want to get in here. Okay, I want to verify here. Okay, I want to verify here, which means that the probability of going up from here to here is very low. Okay, very low probability. But when the price is doing this, the probability of going up is higher. Of course, it could be a pullback, but there's some other characteristics that tells me that it's going to do this. That's my front side. Some people call it the back side, but that's the front side. And I want to be trading in the front side. Okay? I am a front side trader, and that's what I need to do. Okay? And so basically, that's what I'm looking for to trade. Okay? So that's the first part. And I identify that based on the price action, the candles, and then I identify by the moving average. I look at the moving average and what is it doing? If both the moving averages are pointing up like this, right? That's the front side, and I want it. I want to be in it. I want to get in. Okay, that's where things are going to happen. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, I'm just recollecting what has worked, and I'm identifying these things. So I have this moving average, I have the candle formation, and then I start to scale in. Okay, I start to scale in, and when I get positive result, okay, when I see a pullback, I'm not going to be adding. I'm looking to get out. Okay, I'm looking to get out because if my mind is latched into thinking that these moving averages and the chart patterns are correct, I'm gonna the chances are my mind is not dynamically adjusting to the current price action, because what's going to happen is that if it goes up and if it pulls back, it could be a pullback. It's not a reversal. It's not a trend that's been established. It's just correcting itself so they can align back to its backside trend. That's not where I want to be trapped in. Okay, so I want to fully establish that the trend that a solid support has been established. Okay, and then when that solid support is established based on those characteristics of the candle formation and the moving average, then I can look to enter small. And then when the price confirms itself, moves into the direction that I want, then I start to scale in. Okay, scale in. And so it's going to be based on the size, the risk size. Okay, so if there is, then there's the component of momentum. Okay, if there is an identifiable momentum that tells me, such as a parabolic move. Okay, let's say it has been established, then there's a parabolic move, and that parabolic move is supported by further candles that are justifying it. Even if there's a pullback, it moves back up. It creates a higher low and a higher high, right? Right after the parabolic move. Then that means that it is reestablishing itself and there's still movement up. Then I identify whether there is immediately a resistance area and how is it behaving within the resistance area. Is it collecting in a wedge formation in that resistance area? If that resistance area is collecting in a wedge formation, that means that chances are, okay, immediately until it establishes a break and retest kind of situation, it's going to hit that and then pull back. Even if it's a wedge, it's going to create that wedge and remain underneath. And then until it breaks above, so I'm looking for these, okay? I'm looking for that. And so a couple of ways of trading is that I want to make sure if there's a breakout, that I want to confirm that there's a breakout. I've fallen victim to that yesterday, of doing a 0.7% loss because I thought it broke above the resistance immediately, but it didn't do a retest and then come back up. Okay, I fell for that because I was so like eager to enter. Okay, I didn't confirm it. That's why I lost. So I need to confirm that when that happens. When I confirm it's a break and retest kind of situation, chances are there's a higher probability that it's going to remain above that resistance and becomes a support and then start moving back up. Okay, that's one way of getting into that situation. So let's say I'm within two windows. Okay, that's the first strategy, the first way of trading that I have. Okay, and I'm going to reinforce it. I'm going to keep taking it. I'm going to keep trading it. It happens all the time. Okay. The second part is when the price is somewhere between support and resistance, I'm going to see how it behaves, okay? So when it behaves that way, I'm going to wait for the price. I'm going to wait for the price to bounce off that support after it verifies that it's in a range, okay? And so that it tells me that there is a higher probability that it's not going to go through, okay? Whereas it already has established that it's trading in a range. And then previously to that, it already has established that the price is stable at that price, and then it starts to move back up. Then what I would do is I can scale in again, okay? Because when I get in, it could be wrong, and when it's wrong, I could lose. And so I'm taking gradual steps to enter into the trade, okay? And then expect that the price is going to go up to the resistance area, and then trade it multiple times and profit from that, okay? So those are the two basic strategies that I'm using, okay, to make money from this, all right? Right? So, any questions? Yeah, awesome. So currently, oil is retreating. It hit 9.7. Now it's coming back. Okay, and that means that EU is going up and AU is going up. Okay, and then that means that UJ is going down. UC is going down. Okay, that's what it means. Basically, that's what it means. Right?